a century in international one-day cricket, so he's a useful player, but does certainly make a big difference to the side. Great bowling lineup of Waqar Younis, Wasim Akram, Mushtaq Ahmed and Aqib Javed, and the players made no secret they were expecting things from Salim Malik and Javed Miandad to make up for the loss of Inzamam. So let's have a look at the South African team. Necessitated one major change. Wicketkeeper Dave Richardson, a strained groin, so in comes a very talented cricketer and rugby player Errol Stewart, wicketkeeper, and he certainly is very, very fast between the wickets as well. Kepler Wessels would open again with Andrew Hudson and, of course, Alan Donald to fire in some deliveries. Wasim Akram won the toss for Pakistan and he decided to bat, was very pleased about that, and we pick up the game with Fine de Villiers bowling the first delivery of the second over.
With his very first delivery. Joy for the South Africans early on.
Pakistan 29 for 2, deciding to bat Wasim Akram on this pitch. And they've lost 2 quick wickets, but Malik and Miandad, the 2 most experienced Pakistani batsmen here for this series, helping to restore some respectability.
So Merrick Pringle armed with a different ball now. Is he caught?
He is.
He's quite brilliantly caught by Dave Callahan, his second catch in the match. And for a moment, Salim Malik just stood there. I thought he was not going to walk because he wasn't satisfied the catch had been taken, but I think he was so stunned at the brilliance of the catch.
Flicking it off the legs in the air, and another wonderful catch being taken by Callahan, reminiscent of the Macmillan catch. You're right, Malik stood in disbelief. Absolutely magnificent catch by Callahan, and difficulties now, real difficulties for Pakistan, 29 for 3.
As he does get away, Jonty Rhodes is after it. It's a race between him and the ball. Inevitably he wins it, but they're going to go back for the third and they're going to have to hurry. Oh my goodness me, Brian McMillan dropped the ball, and I think Miandad would have been run out if he'd have caught that. A brilliant bit of fielding again by Jonty Rhodes, and McMillan, a grave error there. Miandad out would have been something special for South Africa.
Superb acceleration at this point from Jonty Rhodes, and the throw extremely accurate.
See, Miandad is late to start there. He would have been run out by a mile if McMillan had gathered the ball at the bowler's end.
Slashed away and going for 4. So 4 to Miandad.
Magnificent square drive from Javed Miandad there. Little bit of width, 1 knee, 4.
Unusual for an international ground, this Buffalo Park, in that it is surrounded by so much grass. There's a large embankment, quite well graded. That's hit very well. He really has got hold of that. That's gone. That's 6.
Quick to get onto anything short, and he middled that.
That's exactly what I had in mind.
That's a huge hit. 6 runs. And Brian McMillan's day of misery continues. Right in. Caught. Came down the wicket of Fine de Villiers there. try to give himself room to hit over the head of Kepler Wessels, had extra cover, but hit it straight down his throat at the end of a splendid innings from Asif Mushtaba.
He had no option. He was being frustrated by that superb ground fielding. We saw all through this over, and he had to go take the aerial route. But what a great innings this has been from him. Well played.
His fourth 50 in limited over international cricket, his highest score ever, beating the 60 not out he made against Australia in Perth. And the important thing about that innings is it came from less than 100 balls. He's 74. Just look at that for a shot. 4 of the most glorious runs you'll ever hope to see.
Unbelievable, Trevor. This is what I was telling you about. When you see the master at work, these shots are not in the textbook.
That was quite beautifully played of one of the world's great fast bowlers. Look how he stepped away with that left leg of his to give himself room, and he improvised a shot. It was far too full, really, to play this shorter shot. Oh, but he opened the face of the bat, and that was a delight to watch. And that will be his 100.
Well, Javed.
And I do hope that this border crowd, and believe me, they should be on their feet, because they have witnessed a magnificent innings from the little Pakistani master. And certainly his teammates do appreciate it.
I go further, Trevor. It's been a privilege, really, not only for all those watching him, but even for people like yourself and myself to watch an innings like this.
It's been a marvellous innings. Miandad opens his shoulders and hits Fani de Villiers for a huge 6. Fani de Villiers with the last ball. And it was a full toss that he didn't get hold of it, really. They're going to go for a second anyway. It'll be disappointing if Miandad is run out, which he is. But he had to go and hope that the return would not be good from Hansi Cronje. It was good, and Errol Stewart whipped off the bails. And a pity that Javed Miandad should lose his wicket off the very last ball, but all in the cause of his side, hoping for that one extra precious run. But it wasn't to be. Hansi Cronje with a good bit of fielding, and Javed Miandad run out by a mile. But what an innings.
Let's have a look at the Pakistan scorecard. And in desperate trouble in the first over, Mohammed was out with nothing on the board, followed by Raja, 7 for 2, and then 29 for 3 when Malik went out. And then to the rescue came Javed Miandad and Mushtaba. 107 for Miandad and 74 for Mushtaba, taking Pakistan to 214 for 6 of 50 overs. And the crucial partnership of the day, Miandad and Mushtaba, 165 off 205 balls in 140 minutes. Really saving Pakistan today and making that score 214 then for 6. Let's have a look at the bowling figures. You see that Alan Donald had 10 overs, 2 maidens, 0 for 38, and Fani de Villiers a magnificent spell. 10 overs, 2 maidens, 4 for 27, despite being hit for a 6 by Miandad in the last over. Macmillan, his fine, world-class all-rounder, had a very disappointing day. 10 overs, no maidens, 0 for 62. Well, sadly, the rain came down at lunchtime, and 1.5 hours play was lost. So obviously the overs and runs had to be reduced accordingly. So South Africa was set a target of 172 runs in 31 overs. So let's see how the South African batsmen fared.
Andrew Hudson, who made, of course, 93 against the same side in Kingsmead and Durban, the first match of the total international series. Before that, when the Indians were here, he made 108. Those are the two best performances by a South African in limited overs internationals. It is bowled him. Wasim Akram has bowled Andrew Hudson, and that's a major setback for South Africa. And the Pakistanis will know that that's the one they really wanted. He's a good stroke maker. So still 163 wanted, and the rate going up at the end of each over. 6.26 now is the asking rate. And although South Africa has 9 wickets in hand, it's going to be very tough. From Bunkers Hill end, Akib Javed to Wessels. And that's 4 runs. It was well up to Kepler Wessels. It was wide outside the off stump. It gave him the width to be able to go through with the shot, hit it over the inner ring. There's nobody on the boundary. And the first boundary of the innings. And he goes at it again. He's hit this very hard, high and handsome over the scoreboard. A huge 6 from Hansi Cronje.
Down the ground and over the top for 6. Ramiz Raja was not on the boundary. 6 to Cronje, another one. But Raja was not on the ropes. In fact, he was standing inside about 5 yards. And had he been on the ropes, it might have been a catch. So Mushtaq comes back, and there's a quick single, and he's out, run out. So Pakistan get a little luck that they needed just at that stage. A little bit slow in taking off, Kepler Wessels. He might have made it had he gone quickly.
See if we can spot any hesitation here. He's called it. Didn't hit the ball, I don't think. Way out.
That's a dolly catch, completely deceived by the lack of pace in that delivery, and he just popped it up to Shoaib, and the spectators just can't believe it. It seems such a lollipop delivery. And just missing it, he lost it, dived forward and couldn't make the catch, and it goes for 4. Saeed Anwar, who has had a lot of work to do out of that position, just seemed to have lost it in flight.
Looking into the evening sun, and then has to make the decision, do I try and catch this, or are runs the priority? He tried to catch it, missed it, and Cronje goes on to 49.
So a good half century by Hansi Cronje. 2 sixes. He's been the one who has given South Africa the platform from which they can approach this very difficult target. Good half century. Oh, John P. Rhodes has got hold of this one. Another boundary. So things begin to pick up once more for South Africa.
And that's 4 runs. 6, in fact. He did very well to almost dig that one out because it didn't bounce up very high, and he really slammed that over the boundary rope. And that's exactly what South Africa needed in this over. Beautifully played, a glorious shot by Hansi Cronje through the covers, hitting Waka Yunus on the up. That was a classical cover drive from Hansi Cronje, and a big shot off the last ball of Waka's over.
Quality, stroke of the day. Stood up, determination on his face, watched it right onto the blade of the bat.
This has been a princely innings from Hansi Cronje, and it's now reduced the requirement to 25 at 5 per over. Oh, and he's bowled him. Very good over from Wasim Akram. Ends with the wicket of Jonty Rhodes. I think he was trying to force that maybe just across the line, trying to find a gap, and he missed it. Bowled, hit the off stump. Dave Callaghan out, first ball, trying an ambitious drive on the up.
Waka Yunus in swinger, does it again.
Wasim Akram to Errol Stewart. He's caught behind by wicketkeeper Latif. Just pushed forward, found the outside edge. Or was he trying to run it down to third man? The slow motion will tell us. But whatever, Errol Stewart is out for one.
Pushed a long way forward. It looked like he might have wanted to guide it to third man.
Well, we all think back to that unbelievable collapse against the bowling of Waka Yunus, in particular at Kingsmead in Durban, when South Africa lost by 10 runs. Field for LBW, and he's gone. Macmillan has gone. LBW to Wasim Akram. And the two great Pakistani fast bowlers are once again doing it for Pakistan. High fives all round.
Round the wicket, straight delivery. Macmillan gets across to play it on the onside. It's in his crease. It's not forward at all.
So difficult to come in and start improvising with shots into gaps and so on when you've just come to the wicket. You haven't had a chance to see it. That's what makes it all so dramatic.
Just to remind you that that is the situation. 15 runs to win, 13 balls remaining. Should the scores be tied, the game is a tie. Wickets do not come into it.
Oh, there's going to be a run out here this time. Oh dear, 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 dear me. Salim Malik kept his cool there, kept his head, and Hansi Cronje was stranded by a mile. There wasn't a run really in that. Look at the hesitation from both of them. Not out, says umpire Diedrichs for the LBW appeal, but Malik swoops on it, and instead of having a throw, he just runs to the wicket and removes the bowls. And that was silly and could cost South Africa the match.
Absolutely ridiculous, this. Pringle must go now at this stage and try and get past him, because someone's obviously going to be out.
Yeah, there were two silly things there. One, the run wasn't on, and when Hansi Cronje or Merrick realized there was going to be a run out, he should have sacrificed his wicket. Magnificent innings though by Hansi Cronje. 81 from just 70 balls with 3 4s and 2 6s. And how disappointed he will be if South Africa does not win this, because he's taken them so close to victory. 10 wanted for victory. He swings this time now. There could be another run out. There will be. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, we saw absolute panic when Waka Yunus was knocking back their stumps, and we had 2 ridiculous run-outs in that occasion, and here suddenly the panic is set in again.
You know, there's an adage that no one run is worth a run-out, but this is just suicide. I don't know why he threw it. He might have missed.
South Africa, for the second time in this total international series, have lost to Pakistan in dramatic style, just when it looked as though they were going to win. And here, a full toss, that's what it was. He was trying for the one in the block hole. It was too full, and it crashed into the stumps on the full. All too good for Donald, and South Africa have lost by 10 runs, indeed by 9 runs on this occasion. It was 10 runs in Durban.
Let's take a look at the South African scorecard. Kepler Wessels made 27, a brilliant 81 from Hansie Cronje, seemed to be steering South Africa towards victory, and Jonty Rhodes rode in with 35 excellent runs, but it wasn't enough. 7 wickets fell for 11 runs. South Africa collapsed again and were all out for 162, Pakistan winning by 10 runs. The partnerships, 2 meaningful ones, Kepler Wessels and Hansie Cronje, 72 off 70 balls, and then a great partnership from Hansie Cronje and Jonty Rhodes of 69 runs off 59 balls. The rest contributed very little. Wasim Akram was the hero for Pakistan on the bowling side, taking 5 for 16 off 6.1 overs. And so too the man of the match. Now, obviously 1 or 2 contenders, but there was a faultless century. So man of the match, Pakistanis, Javed Miandad, scoring 107. So a chance for us now to have a look at the points situation. Pakistan have now gone to the top of the log in this triangular series. Pakistan 4 points off 3 matches, and the West Indies have a game in hand. South Africa 2 points from 3 matches. Let's have a look at the 2 teams. The line